You find yourself lost in Irvingland. Last time, as you recall, Will, the robot, and Dr. Smith were doing something with a special kind of telescope. Will was on his way to sorting out some coordinates, probably to locate where they are and plot a course somewhere else, when a solar gale hit. While the robot stands around waving his arms and yelling, "Danger, danger," the humans take shelter behind some rocks.
It's begun to abate. I think it's safe to go out now.
And indeed it is. We saw a lot of cliffhangers like that, some big weather or other natural phenomenon coming on, everybody runs for cover, and it's a fizzle. But we established early on that we have to end every episode with a cliffhanger teaser about next week, so if there isn't any immediate danger, we'll invent some, at least long enough to fulfill our contract or whatever. Once Will establishes that it's safe, big brave Dr. Smith joins him.
Ah, what an exhilarating experience. Man against the elements is the essence of heroism. I feel powerful enough to conquer the universe.
As long as the universe doesn't threaten to beat him with a feather or something. The robot's official explanation for that is solar dust in his memory banks. Will notices something else.
Hey, look at the electronic telescope. Its lights are blinking green.
That, Will Robinson, is the action of a deposit of positron particles combined with solarized ions from an unknown source. They are highly energized.
Are they dangerous? I mean, can we still use the telescope?
They are not dangerous, but I cannot compute what they have done to our optical system.
I only just invented that phrase. I am still computing its meaning. Will was looking at the Omega Nebula, which from Earth is in the Sagittarius constellation, when that solar gale hit. Is it still there?
Golly, Dr. Smith, look at this!
What is it? Another solar gale?
The robot would have warned us if it was. Take a look.
That's the busiest nebula you'll ever see. Last time we saw her, she and Dr. Smith went dancing. In space, without a tether. He was the reason they missed their one chance to return to Earth. Now she's back and still in love with Dr. Smith.
She's an optical illusion, nothing more.
She is not an illusion, and my sensors indicate that she can also see you.
Every time you look in the telescope, she gets an incredible close-up of your eyeball. She's writing a song about it. He turns the telescope off and says, "We're out of here."
I thought you liked her.
At the time, I was merely being gallant, my boy, as I always am to a lady.
No, you were being mind-controlled. Pretty much every creature you've encountered has proven how easy it is.
Being a man of the world, I wouldn't dream of being anything but kind and considerate to the weaker sex.
Yeah, she's the weaker sex. That's why she can fly and live in space and you can't. But I think we're about to find out who's weaker.
Oh no! You're not real! Go away! Go away! You frighten me!
I won't go into her background and all that. We've seen the young lady multiple times, not only here, but in the time tunnel. I refer you to those to find out more info about Ms. Athena Marcus. Yes, I'll do anything to get more people to watch my videos, even cross-reference. They dash back to the ship where Dr. Smith is characteristically frantic and incoherent, so Will has to explain what happened.
Oh, now really, Will.
Son, this isn't one of your little flights of fancy, is it?
Come here, Professor Robinson. Closer. A little bit more. A little more. Stop being an idiot! How many flights of fancy has he had so far? I'll give you a clue, John. You can count them on your ovaries. Will doesn't do that. And Dr. Smith is right there backing up the story. If Will made it up, wouldn't he be screaming like an idiot because the story makes him out to be a coward? What is wrong with you, dude?
She's here! She followed us!
It's for real, all right.
I believe everyone owes Will an apology. She seems to be trying to communicate, but nobody can understand her gestures. Still, she probably understands their language, so they suggest Dr. Smith just tell her he's not interested. He'll give it a try with his usual charm and grace.
Scat. Shoot, shoot. Shoot, shoot. You're not wanted here. On your way. Shoot, shoot.
The charm and grace he reserves for stray dogs. She leaves with a smile, and Will kicks his dad in the knee for not believing him. I wish.
Athena? Athena? Where are you, my treasure? Athena?
Oh yeah, her name is Athena, and he somehow knows that. And he's calling her. Why? So he can practice saying scat some more?
Where is that silly girl? The ordeals I endure in the interests of science. However, it's a small enough price to pay for the secret of learning to read the future.
Read the future. Where'd that come from? Or should I say, whose did it come from? It hasn't been mentioned at all. Neither has her name. In episode 2, when she first appeared, the credits listed her as Lorelei. Now that she's back, not only do they know she changed her name, they somehow know she gained an amazing new ability. I expect better from Lost in Space.
That must be she. Sweetheart, come out, wherever you are. Athena.
She's hoping you like the beard. She grew it just for you. Beat up puny guy, hang out with pretty girl. Beat up puny guy, hang out with pretty girl. Decisions, decisions. I think that's green guy for she's mine. The big question, of course, is always, does she know that?
No, creature. That Urso.
We're having a conversation about the newcomer, whose name is Urso, by the way. He was Athena's boyfriend until she decided she wanted Dr. Smith. They're explaining all that, but I'm mesmerized by Athena's movements, and I really want to know how they did that.
Can't you dispose of your friend?
He think you want power to tell future. He think you do not want me.
That's ridiculous. What are you laughing at, my dear?
When your angry nose wiggle, me love watch nose wiggle.
Actually, it happens when he lies to you. The little noise is a tip of the hat to Bewitched, which was going strong at the time and would have a much longer run than this show would. It's time to start the con.
You do understand that during the courtship, for the young lady to bestow upon her betrothed a trifling token of love, something of a pre-dowry.
Dowry?
Nothing much. Possibly a hint or two on how to predict the future.
You know, that thing he just said he wasn't interested in?
Then, Dr. Smith and Athena be together forever, yes?
Unquestionably.
In the Universal English Dictionary by Dr. Zachary Smith, forever is defined as until I get what I want.
Well, I can't explain it, can you? Well, you think of that telescopic viewer as some kind of a window into another dimension. Well, like the green dimension. Well,
Then you might say she just climbed in through the window.
something like that, son.
It's nice that they believe him now. Either she or Dr. Smith has been snitching deutronium, too. I don't know why anybody's surprised. Typical 9-year-old boy. Follow every burning fracture in the ground that you come across.
Dr. Smith, what are you doing? I thought you were scared of her.
I was, my boy, oh, I was. But in the interests of cultural ethnology, I forced myself to overcome my fears.
And now you've got her feeding out of your hand with our deutronium.
Smith is full of excuses. In other news, water is wet.
Handsome, pretty, handsome Dr. Smith. Soon we will be together forever, yes?
If If you consent to anything like that, she's going to expect you to keep your word.
He takes Will aside and explains that sometimes it's necessary to prevaricate to get what you want, though he calls it anything but lying. He also takes the deuteronium canister back and sends Will on his way.
I do hope you have your first aid kit with you.
Why, are you hurt?
No, not I. But Judy will be very shortly.
What? Oh, now, really, Dr. Smith, that sounds like morbid, wishful thinking.
Nothing to worry about, dear lady. It will be a slight cut on the index finger of the left hand.
Ouch!
He's been weird before, but this is beyond the pale. That night, he takes Will and the robot up to the telescope to take another peek into the future. Unfortunately, Urso is there, and he doesn't want him doing that.
Sorry if I woke you, sir.
I've seen my dog make that same expression when he encountered two food bowls. I'm not sure how that keeps him from looking through the telescope, but there it is. When Will got back to Earth, he opened a club in Los Angeles. Gluing horns on his head was Angel's idea. While he's adjusting to his new color, Dr. Smith finds Athena and drags her back to the ship in hopes that she can change Will back into Will. Well, for starters, she doesn't understand why they don't like him that way. Not one of them has the good sense just to say, humans aren't green. You're green because you're supposed to be. He isn't. He's supposed to be whatever you call this.
I'm sorry. I cannot help. Urso play game on handsome, pretty handsome Dr. Smith. Urso only one can change boy back.
Urso is waiting elsewhere for Dr. Smith so they can play a different game.
Punch, kick, choke, break bone. All very good game.
It depends on which side of those things you're on.
Why the blazes should she want you, rather than one of her own kind?
Dr. Smith are brilliant. You are not so smart. He are brave. You are scaredy cats. He tell I.
That's quite enough, my dear.
He tell I many things. Many things he tell I wrong. Maybe everything he tell I wrong. Handsome, pretty handsome Dr. Smith say he no fight Urso. Athena get angry and leave.
Well, judging from what you must have told her, Dr. Smith, I'd say she's just expecting you to keep your word.
I merely told her a little about myself.
You promised to go to the green dimension with her.
That was a tactical maneuver in the interests of science, my boy.
Well, with your experience with tactical maneuvers, I don't think you'll have any trouble with Urso. And what's more, Smith, I'm not going to let you weasel out of this one. Now, you got Will into this, you're going to get him out.
Athena not only one get angry. Okay, stop that. Smith and the robot go up to the telescope. Urso appears and the fight begins. Such as it is. We get some more of that. Not too little, not too much, but just enough, and it's funny. When Urso finally catches Smith, he doesn't pummel him. He forces him to look in the telescope.
There's an old saying that what is buried in the ground is soon forgotten. But this is one time that I'm not likely to forget.
Nor will I. A wonderful helper. Tireless, loyal, uncomplaining.
He can't help noticing that he's not there. So, of course, it must be his funeral.
Who else can it be? Who else is loyal, tireless, and uncomplaining?
That would be anybody except you.
The atomic cooker's heating coils are shot.
Looks like we'll have to junk the whole unit.
Yeah, we're gonna miss it too.
That's right. Even an inanimate object is more tireless, loyal, and uncomplaining than Dr. Smith. As you may be able to tell from the fact that Dawn is using lead isolation gloves to handle it, that thing is highly radioactive. They'll have to bury it in a human-sized grave with a fringe of rocks so it looks like a human grave, and a eulogy like a human funeral. I think they know Dr. Smith can see them through the telescope and they're screwing with his head.
Your own tombstone?
Yes, indeed. It's a bitter task, but one that I prefer not to leave to others.
Will is going to go find Athena and see if she can help. Smith wants to come up with something he can give Will to remember him. The robot says, give him a bold deed to remember you by.
A man so close to death can fight to the death with Urso. After all, you have nothing to lose but your life.
What?
I will now go to Urso and issue your challenge to a duel to the death. It is a far, far better thing than you have ever done. You will go out in savage splendor.
That escalated quickly. Dr. Smith goes and gets his matched set of dueling pistols. I will not ask, I will not ask, I will not ask.
The antagonists will now select their weapons.
Yes. Oh, doomed to die.
Urso from the Green Dimension knows what a cap and ball dueling pistol is and how to use it. I will not ask, I will not ask, I...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, come back! Foul! Come back!
Will has been trying to tell Athena that Dr. Smith is a coward. I hope she saw all that.
What have you done? You've buried me alive.
Oh, now, Dr. Smith, don't be silly. Calm down. Where have you been?
I'm here, don't you see? Not down there. You buried the wrong person.
Yes, the fact that you're standing here babbling like an idiot is proof that they buried you by mistake. Think about that. Urso appears and the chase is on, such as it is.
Baby, don't hurt me. I could be your dear friend. I really could. Please.
Once she has him tamed, it's time for the other guy.
So much many disappoint Dr. Smith. In Green Dimension, Dr. Smith, small pumpkins. Me throw him back like a little fish.
That may be the smartest thing she's ever done. She convinces Urso to turn Will not green again and all is well. Athena and Urso are gone and they won't be back. In the cliffhanger, Will, Dr. Smith, and the robot have been fixing some piece of equipment and are ready to head back to the ship.
What is that?
That is a badly played trumpet. That is a live-action Yippee Yappy and Yahooey cartoon.
I am so sacramondialante and bid defiance. Prepare to do battle or hold yourself captive knight. He's going to attack. Do something, you cowardly cunt. Hurry, finish him off.
I am sorry. I can do nothing.
Usually when knights joust with lances, there are horses involved. I feel like I'm watching the precursor to Monty Python and the Holy Grail, except he doesn't have a lovely bunch of coconuts. It was nice seeing Green Girl again, but other than that, I'm sitting here muttering, what did I just watch? The premise of the whole thing, her being able to see the future, came out of nowhere. And what good would it do Dr. Smith anyway? He lives on an isolated planet with 6 other people who really don't care for him. I can tell him his foreseeable future, that, and I didn't even need a fancy telescope. I'll see you next time you find yourself lost in Irvingland.